Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. As I started a couple of weeks ago, this short video is connecting a thought in the story, in the biblical story of the Jewish people, taking out of the book of Genesis and connecting it to positive intelligence. And how do I do it? By describing a story from our tradition and then using the positive intelligence lens. So here we go. We're still in the book of Genesis. This time, Sarah, Abraham's wife, dies, and he sits and mourns for her. Okay, it's at the very beginning of the chapter. Now, if you remember correctly, I'm not giving you a description of the entire book of Genesis or the story. That's not the purpose of this. The purpose is just to highlight a concept, literally a concept. So by the way, I'm using this book, as you can see, right here, English and Hebrew reading. And so if I look to the side, that's what I'm doing because I want to be reading it and I want to be specific. So it says that Sarah died in Hebron, and it says, and Abraham came to eulogize Sarah and to bewail her. And then the next sentence, and that's something I wanted to say here. Abraham rose up from the presence of the dead and spoke to the children of Het. Why is it important right here? In positive intelligence, the whole idea of positive intelligence is to overcome difficulties and handling it, moving it to the positive lens rather than the negative. Here is this example of somebody dying. The love of his life, Sarah, dies. Which, by the way, in positive intelligence, the idea of grief is not a bad feeling. It's not a negative feeling. So if you're out there grieving for something, know that it actually, the seed of grief is love. You love something so much, so when it is gone, you grieve for it. And it could be a person, it could be a career, it could be a time in your life that we grieve that it's gone. So the key here, and he rose up from the presence of the dead. In positive intelligence, we talk about how long can a person stay in a place that may cause them more negativity. And according to Jewish law, we have 7 days of mourning, and then we have a 30-day, and then we have a year. So we have a process. But here comes Abraham, and he goes to the next thing. How it makes him feel better is by buying her a burial place. And he goes into a negotiation with the people of Het and says, how I can buy that land from you. And there's a whole story of how it goes, which I encourage you to study. Abraham understands that he needs to move on to something. And how? By activating one of three gifts: a gift of power, a gift of knowledge, and a gift of inspiration. Now, I'm going to leave it up to you to figure out the fact that he bought her a burial, which, by the way, became also his burial place when he dies. When he dies and he's buried by his wife, Sarah. How can you look at it and see that act is an inspiration, a gift of inspiration, or power, or knowledge? I would love to hear from you. And then wait for next week, where I will say something about positive intelligence and the story of the coming week. Be well, everybody.